Chapter 1085. Blossoming Snow Vine. Translator, Nyoibo Studio. Editor, Nyoibo Studio. My assistant, Luo Feng, frowned. Everyone in the universe wants to know who your helper is, Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress said. He smiled as he gazed at Luo Feng. Wait a moment, I'll ask him. Now, Luo Feng continued. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress nodded and waited for Luo Feng's response. Silently. It would be wonderful if he could get a valuable without fighting. After all, the assistant had killed Tianyang Knight as well as several other universe overlords. Even Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress wasn't willing to start a fight. Luo Feng pretended to be connecting with his helper, but the golden horned beast was only one of his bodies. How was it possible that he had any other metals? Luo Feng said, looking at Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress with regret. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress, my friend said he doesn't have any metals. Doesn't have any, Land of Fan Nuo Fortress said. Or is not willing to share them. My friend said he doesn't have it. Luo Feng was still looking at Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. I can't do anything about it. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress nodded and sighed. What a shame. The second he finished, a monstrous force suddenly permeated outward. Meanwhile, endless green light started to shine. A gigantic vine several miles wide immediately enveloped the sky and land. The space was filled with endless vines that surrounded Luo Feng completely. An extremely low voice came out of the vines. What a shame. I didn't want to fight you in the first place. Luo Feng frowned and roared. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. Based on the information collected, Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress had incredible power, and he had 3 bodies in total. His other 2 bodies were also powerful. The strongest one was the Blossoming Snow Vine body, which was supposedly the original body of Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. It was an incredibly special life form in the universe. There were only 5 in total. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress had one of them, and he had joined Thorn Ring Alliance. As for the other 4 blossoming snow vines, they joined other powers. Blossoming Snow Vine had a life gene level of around 1,000 times, but it was extremely large, over 600,000 cubic miles, and it had an inherited technique, transplantation. With the inherited technique transplantation, Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress had 2 bodies. Though they weren't as large as Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress, but they had similar life gene levels. That meant Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress was as powerful as 3 top-tier universe overlords, which gave him an extremely high status in the Thorn Ring Alliance. Ask your friend to give me all the metal, Luo Feng. The deep voice resounded. Give me the metal, otherwise, I'll kill you. Even if that golden-horned beast can protect himself, he won't be able to protect you. Golden-horned beast? Luo Feng stood in the sky and smiled. He gazed at the white vines and the green light flowing around them. You are well informed. Are you going to give it to me or not? Boomed the low voice. It echoed all around Luo Feng. To me or not? To me or not? To me or not? I'll ask my friend to answer you. Luo Feng turned around, and a lovely golden horned beast showed up beside him. Golden horned beast, the voice said from the vines. Give me all your metal, and I'll leave. Otherwise, this human Luo Feng will die. Answer me. Are you going to give me the metal or not? The golden-horned beast raised his head and growled. Are you trying to threaten me? Don't even think about it. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng started to guffaw. The endless, vine-covered world turned silent. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress hadn't expected the golden-horned beast to refuse him. Was the golden-horned beast really so confident that he could protect Luo Feng? He was also startled by Luo Feng's laughter. Then, die, began Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. But before he could finish, the golden-horned beast and Luo Feng both protested, you're the one to die. Hong, long, long, endless golden waves flooded out and started permeating and penetrating through the cracks among the vines. They looked like river waters, but they were a special energy domain transformed from the Nine Tiger River. Under burning godly power, it covered an area with a radius of 19 million miles. However, the blossoming snow vine body was able to resist it easily. Larger, 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 the golden-horned beast growled. Hua! The golden-horned beast instantly became larger, and the white vines, with green light flowing around them, started to wind around the golden-horned beast. However, he was wearing the top-tier set True Treasure Beast God armor, and he had weapons everywhere in his body. His claws kept slashing, and countless golden engravings started to flow. Peng, peng, peng. Numerous white vines bounced away. They weren't able to stop him from growing larger. He is neglecting the earthling Luo Feng, Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress said, startled. Meanwhile, numerous vines dashed towards Luo Feng like green lights. Silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng gazed at him with a smile. Break! Luo Feng murmured. The four wings on his back became dozens of feet long, and countless engravings were flowing on the wings. Aside from the ultimate technique of Universe Masters, Luo Feng had also created an ultimate technique of Universe Overlords he had named Haze. He was already familiar with using his wings like blades, and now, he was using all four of them. Besides, the attack power of his new Shi Wu wings was at the same level as Cutting Pearl's sword. Hua, hua, hua. Four glowing, golden arcs ward off those vines. Luo Feng stood in the space and waved his wing, easily resisting all the attacks. After only a few seconds, all the vines vanished. Of course, it wasn't only thanks to the original earthling body, but also the golden-horned beast. Larger, 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 it was covering the sky and land. This was his golden-horned beast. At over 600,000 miles long, it stood in the sky, black and ferocious. After finishing the third level of deities of the world, he could shrink his body to a large extent. For an ordinary golden-horned beast, 60 miles was their limit, but the normal godly body of golden-horned Luo Feng was 5,500 miles long. Even though it was only enlarged 36 times, it was still within the limit, and it wouldn't affect Luo Feng's combat power. The golden-horned easily ripped blossoming snow vine apart. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The golden-horned beast 600,000 miles long and blossoming snow vine with a diameter of 600,000 miles glared at each other. Luo Feng's original earthling body stood on the golden-horned beast, and countless vines spread from the dark turquoise fortress. Apparently, the core of blossoming snow vine was hiding in the fortress, and numerous vines were all bursting out of the fortress. A shadow was also standing among the vines. It was Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. It seems that the other races are all wrong about you, said Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. You're already as powerful as a universe overlord. Have you become a universe knight? Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress was standing above the blossoming snow vine. Luo Feng was standing the golden-horned beast. Think whatever you want, Luo Feng whispered. Give me the metal, then I'll let you leave. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress yelled. He felt intimidated already and couldn't help glancing at the enormous golden horned beast. It looked so savage. It was the spitting image of the gold beast god. They even felt the same. Besides, the technique the golden horned beast had just performed made him more alert. Though the technique Luo Feng performed with his wings was incredible, it couldn't even compare to that of the golden horned beast. You look confident, Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress, said Luo Feng. He stared at Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. Are you feeling confident? I suggest that you leave first. Indeed, Luo Feng didn't want to fight Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress, especially at 600,000 miles long with a flying fortress. The attacks from the vines of blossoming snowvine are ordinary. It's not my supreme technique. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress yelled. My blossoming snow wing is able to ensnare your golden-horned beast, and I can easily kill you. You're joking. Luo Feng teased him. This infuriated Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress and the giant blossoming snow vine. Following a bellow with rage, a magnificent green world enveloped the area within thousands of square miles and hit the Golden River from Nine Tiger River. It was apparently a domain-type true treasure fight. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress and blossoming snowvine charged. Luo Feng Hong. The vines entwined each other, becoming 8 gigantic vines thousands of miles thick. They slashed at the golden-horned beast like 8 green whips. How? The golden-horned beast charged while Luo Feng stood in the sky. Luo Feng, you're seeking your own death. Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress shouted as he flew toward him. Luo Feng took the cutting pearl sword from his back and glared at Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. A huge, godly slash showed up in the hands of Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress, and there an infinity of ancient engravings on it. Under his burning, godly power, it slashed toward Luo Feng. A blurry golden light started to shine. It came from Luo Feng's Universe Overlord ultimate technique, Haze. Luo Feng had created 2 techniques, one of them was Golden Light, and the other one was Haze. Both could exhibit the transformation of Luo Feng. He really looked forward to the result when he created a pinnacle technique the first time. And he had pondered the name of the technique for a long time. However, he didn't care about the names much anymore. They hit each other. Luo Feng bounced away, but the vines kept charging him. Luo Feng tried to use Cutting Pearl Blade and his Shi Wu wings to defend himself, but the vines were too strong and quick, and they all hit Luo Feng's force armor. Luckily, Luo Feng could still withstand it with his force armor. No, said Lord of Fan Nuo Fortress. Although he was suppressing Luo Feng, he realized that the blossoming snow vine couldn't hold it anymore. All the vines went back to the dark turquoise fortress and started to flee.